Welcome to the Bookworm Bindery with Cathy-Lynn. This is the first show in a multi-part junk journal filling making video. So I'm going to be working on this, what's for me a medium-sized Christmas-themed junk journal. This has 3 signatures, and the way it's been tied, I have a dangle hanging from 2 signatures, and then the center signature I sewed it the other way around, brought it out and made a bow. You know, just because sometimes we have to do something different when we are playing with our fun stuff, our toys. So this particular journal is what I call a starter junk journal. I made it up the end of last year, which would have been 2023. And I went ahead and I put a few pieces of eclectic, interesting Christmas things in. So this is one of those, I call them fan pocket sets, made out of a coffee filter and a little doily. So we have some Christmas stickers, and then in the pocket made by the coffee filter I have 3 journaling cards, so there's space to write on the back. And in this instance, let me remove these. In this instance, I did not leave the back to make a pocket out of. I glued it all the way down. I figured the very front page, well, this is actually the inside cover of a book, is going to get a lot of wear. And I decided that it might just be a little more stable if it was glued down completely. And then each of the 3 signatures is covered in red cardstock, and each one of them is decorated. So this one is decorated with a printable that I purchased. No, I think this was a freebie from Pam at the Paper Outpost. So if you're watching this, Pam, thank you for your monthly freebies. I thought this was perfect. We have a paper clip that when we turn the page, you can see is holding in the envelope that has the letter from the bookmaker. And then the pages are just manila paper. I find that it's a fantastic paper. It's fairly inexpensive, but it's thicker. Well, maybe not much thicker than regular writing paper or copy paper, but it's very durable. And when you write on this, like with a nibbed ink pen, for instance, that you dip into your ink bottle and you write, or you write with a gel writer, like a gel pen, it doesn't go through. So when you go to write on this side, there's no shadow of whatever was written on the first side. So if you write in your journals, whether you're actually journaling or you're just maybe writing Christmas recipes, holiday things that have always been made in your home, your family, things that your auntie brought or your grandmother, things that your mom made, things that your family has passed down. This would be great use for a Christmas journal, would be recipes. So this does have, like, it's a little pocket here. This has a few things in it. This was some wrapping paper. I'll be using more of this because it had some really cool decorations. And then there are some stamps and stencils that have been put in. And then some of the papers have been lightly hued with green or red. A little bit of trim put on that. So not a lot in this. At the end of this, we have a decorated or an altered paper clip. So you could slip something into there, maybe a card that you received during the holidays that's very sentimental and that you need to keep. So then on this, the cover of this signature, this was actually a Christmas card that was given to me a couple of years ago at Christmas. I do have a tendency to save them, so I thought, perfect. So I cut it out, I rounded the corners, and I glued it on. I don't know how easily you can see this, but this is shimmery. It's glittery. Yeah, I think if I tilt it a little bit, you can get some of that. And then this is just a nice foil. So apparently in the background, you may be able to hear my mom and the cats. It's morning. The cats are always much feistier in the morning. So this is a sticker that's kind of textured. That was fun. And again, a bit of trim that's just been randomly placed in. I like laces. This is a ecru colored or tea-dye colored crochet lace. I like those on the outside, you know, these edges, because they're just cool. It looks cool. It feels cool. Okay, so here there is a pocket that's been put in with Christmas things. And then in this section, this pages, I put a coloring page of a Christmas tree. And it just went across the pages. So, for instance, if it was here, I just put it in here and then brought it up here. And that way, if you like to color and you color this in, you have a nice continuous picture. So there was that. This is just a decorative, does have a little band here. Can't open this out, but it's a Christmas music piece. And then in this little band, I have slipped a Christmas sticker and then a postmarked Christmas stamp with part of the envelope so that you actually got the postmark. So those are stuck there. And then here we just have a nice little set of Christmas trees with a sticker that could be written on. So, you know, maybe this is the section that you, I don't know, set aside for something special. You could write that down. We have a belly band here made out of sheet music. And we have a journaling card. So. More pages, more trim, more hewing. Here's the center of this one with its one thread. So I put a charm on one thread and then I just cut off the other. They can be added in. It's easy enough to add in charms if you wish. Here we have a different piece of Christmas wrap that I just cut out and glued on. So, and then at the end, I have a plain paper clip. I went up and put, you know, green and red plain paper clips in. This one just has a journaling card tucked in right on the back. Or, you know, you could take this and you could lay it out and turn it into a pocket by sewing. Well, you could sew, but now that it's in the book, that's difficult. Gluing in 3 sides and making a pocket out of it. It's a little big. You probably have to trim it down to do that, but that's fine. It is totally cool to do that. And then business card. And then in the back, I just had a nice piece of trim. Happy Holidays. I glued it in at an X, cut the shank off of buttons, and glued them down. This made a little pocket to put just a handy little, this was a practice stamp. And then once I was done with it, I cut out and stuck it in here. Oh my goodness, my cat's noisy. We had a little journaling card and some gift tags. Hi, do you need to come up here? Okay, whoops. So we have a little whiny cat here. Hi, baby. Who I'm going to dissuade from coming up because he'll look like a Godzilla-sized cat in the video. So these were just pretty and they were in the box and I just thought, I'll tuck them in. Who doesn't need Christmas tag stickers. It'll be that last minute gift, the crazy thing that you have to wrap at the last minute, and you'll be like, I've already put all away my stuff away, and you'll think, wait, I know where there are some. You'll come in and you'll grab one. Okay, so this is the book. We actually did a little bit of a flip through on a pip that's in an earlier version here, so a project in progress. Now, the rest of the mess on the work table, don't. So if the cat rubs up against the foam, the phone stand, you're going to jiggle a little. I'm going to try to dissuade him from that. Okay, so the other things we have laid out, I pulled out inks in shades of red and green and black. And, excuse me, just a second. You do not get up on the table. Thank you. I don't know if that'll work, but we try. Okay, so I have inks out. I brought home a plastic container that someone from work had brought in with cinnamon rolls. They weren't bad for a store-bought cinnamon roll. If you're used to baking your own, you kind of look at them and go, oh, I'm not sure. But I did eat one, and it was tasty. So I'm like, but this box is great. So I brought this home, and I have put stuff in it for the next project I'm working on. So I have a box of Christmas and holiday stamps. So some of the stamps aren't Christmas, I guess I should say. Christmas stamps and regular stamps. But the regular stamps have holiday postmarks on them. So I have separated those out from my other stamps. I have washi tape. I don't know how well you can see these designs with the messy background, but I splurged. It wasn't a big splurge, but I didn't feel like I really ought to buy more washi tape last year at Christmas, and yet I did. So now I have to get it used up so that it assuages my sensibilities for buying stuff I don't really need. I did buy these stickers, which I love. Do not regret purchasing. They were 2 rolls for I don't know how much money. I bought them on Amazon. They have really old-timey Christmas prints. So that's nice. I really like them. I've used them, as you saw, in a couple of things. Okay. Then I have crinkled hem tapes. And I did not have any green. So I have white and I have red. Pulled those aside. I went through and found bows. I like bows and ribbons for the texture. So I pulled some out. Oh, another piece of, let's do this here. Another piece of washi tape with Christmas ornaments on it. So I pulled out bows, and oh, here's a couple of these stickers. Probably they've been separated at some point. Bows. Okay. Then I have some cards and envelopes and pockets and tags that I made. So I have a couple of, like Sterilite brand shoe boxes that as I make ephemera, I tuck in, and so I went and pulled out. So we have a couple of writing cards. So this was some of the Christmas sheet music that it's a songbook. Although this is apparently sheet music section. Carol of the Bells, I put some washi, some of these stickers. And then, usually on songbooks and sheet music books, there's a little information about who wrote it, who published it, whatever, and maybe where it came from. So Carol of the Bells over here on the original sheet music indicated that it was an Ukrainian Christmas carol. And I thought, well, that's kind of a cool thing. So I took it out and took it out, cut it, inked it, glued it on. Yay. So that's a cute tag. I have a fun tab. Well, it's a tag versus a card. I'll get the words out. So there is journaling space on the side. But if you're noticing, this has got a secret writing place inside. So you can use that front and back and slip this into here. This particular project was a redoing from another creator. I saw this video with Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah, and she had seen it from someone else whom I cannot recall at this time. But I used this idea from Tina. So Tina, if you're watching this, thank you very much. If you haven't seen Pam at the Paper Outpost, if you haven't seen Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah, go in and look them up, find them. They are fantastic creators. So we've got this cool idea that's going to go in. More than likely, I'm going to use it as a separate piece that I tuck in so that the back side can be used for journaling as well. But this part here could be glued in a U shape so that it becomes a pocket behind, which could give you a secret pocket behind if what you put in is shorter than this section. And it wouldn't be seen until you pulled this out. And then there behind it would be another item. So that's a thought. Especially if you like those hidden spaces. So that could be glued in flat as well, as long as you only glued in this part. Don't glue this. Okay. So then I had some, I did a couple of master boards last year, and one of them I used odds and ends, the bits and pieces of the manila paper, and some of them I just used probably copy paper. And most of the ones that I did with the manila paper have been added onto and finished up. Most of the ones, oh, I got that back. Yeah, the manila ones are finished up. Most of the ones with the white paper on the back are in their original form, waiting to be decorated. So I have put a bow on this one. I have cut out a Christmas image and glued this on. It says, wishing you a happy new year with an abundance of fruits and vegetables. Which, you know, that sort of sentiment has its place in a Christmas journal. But if you feel it doesn't, it's easy to take out. And this would make a great gift tag. So if you were going to a New Year's event, a New Year's Eve party, for instance, you could pop this out, pop a hole in it, and then write thank you on the back and who the bottle of wine or a candle or whatever little gift you're doing as a hostess gift could be used for that. So I have a bunch of these, and I went through and I pulled them out. The ones that aren't decorated yet, because these are just the master boards, have been inked. And now they're ready for a focal point or a bit of ribbon or something. So we're going to be working on these things. Okay. So let's see, let me pull out the tags and put them aside. The next thing to look at is going to be cutouts from a book that came with a CD that allows you, oh, wrong book. Ooh, sorry about that. Let me find it. One moment, I'm reaching. So this is the book. And I purchased this years ago, and I have the CD, and I can certainly print out these designs. They are numbered. So they're numbered. So if I wanted this Santa Claus, or I wanted, maybe I need an angel to put in, I could just go to the number 18 and print it out. And I can do that on the back of waste paper, like ready to be recycled paper it was printed on, and I don't want to waste it. I do that a lot instead of using brand new paper. But I also decided that this is in the computer. I have a disk. I don't really need this book. And it was actually set up for you to be able to cut this image out and not have an image on the backside. So when I cut this out, I'm not losing a whole nother page of things. And I don't need to keep this book on my bookshelf. So I am pulling a page and cutting the whole page apart. And so wow, that is too much of a view. We'll come back to this soon, actually. So what I did, whoa, sorry about that, is I tore out 2 pages. So there's this page. I really was looking for pages with angels as well as our more, like modern Christmas, Santa Clauses and things like that. Okay, so this one had 3 or 4, this one has 4 angels on it. I'm going to turn it over and create a blank space. And then I did either, I don't know if you can see, there's white edges around it. I think somebody calls that a kissing cut, but some are actually fussy cutted, so there's no white edges around. So if you look at what I have kiss cut and what I've fussy cutted, you can tell that if it's really, really lots of fine detail, I just cut out around it. I figure by the time this is inked, you probably won't notice or mind. Once it's down on a white piece of paper, that dissipates. So, I'm good. I've actually already used a couple of these. And so these are ready to go. And I will be cutting out the page that we're looking at the back side of. I probably won't do that on camera because I can't think of anything more tedious than watching me cut out crazy cuts. I cut things a lot, but I'm not a patient person, so I think it becomes awkward and difficult. Okay, there's that. In the back of that book, I had showed you the shank buttons, so I have 2 packages of winter buttons. This has a snow family. There's mom and dad and a little kid and some snowflakes. And then this pack was just snowflakes. So whether you cut the shank off, these are plastic, so they cut off very easily, not with regular scissors, but they cut off. And then they can be glued flat, or they could be like a ribbon could be put through that, tied. You could run a paper clip through that, and it could be used as a decorated paper clip. So I have those. I did a folding of book pages video recently, maybe a week ago. And I made these out of music. In this case, we had sheet music from Christmas. I folded them. You can go back and check that video out. And decorated them. This is just decorated with peg stamps. And then this one has little Christmas stickers. And these are ready. Oh, my cats. Gotta love them. Okay, so this has a tuck here, a tuck here, a tuck here, a big tuck here, and a big tuck here. So if you glue this down completely, then you will end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 tucks. Okay. If you glue this down in a U shape, and I wouldn't go up into this, I would just do this down in here. That makes these a little easier once it's glued to kind of pull something out of. But that would add that 5th tuck. Okay, so that's true of both of these. Obviously, one is smaller than the other. So we have those to put in. Here was one of those stamps that's actually out. And it's a Madonna with child. And it has the postmark saying Happy Holidays. So that's great. This is a Christmas card that came in a set of maybe 6 that I bought 30 years ago. It's absolutely stunning. And I still have a couple of them. And so it says, may the happy sounds of Christmas fill your life throughout the year. This card is too big to fit in this medium-sized journal. It will have to go on the large-sized journal. But I went ahead and left it in here because there's going to be some things here that I don't use in this journal. And then I can make up probably not another actual junk journal, but a starter. So it'll have all the components. It'll kind of get you started on your way so that you can do the majority of the writing and the stuffing and the saving and that sort of thing on your own, with your own Christmas cards and wrapping paper and things like that. So let's go to the other book that I had showed. Well, it was just sitting here. I hadn't actually shown it to you yet. It's a coloring book of Christmas trees, and somebody, when they found out I was doing this sort of thing, gave it to me. They apparently pulled out a few, colored them, was done. So now I had that. So what I did was I cut out the one I wanted, and then I just trimmed it so it would fit in the page. And then I just glued it on without having to cut it. I folded it, I didn't crease it sharp. I just did a light fold, and then I was able to contour it into the book and glued it in. And now it's ready to be colored. So I may or may not put another one of these in. We'll see. I think they're cool, and I'll have them for use in others as well. Okay, so there was that. I'm going to slip that to the side. And then the last thing that I have for now anyway to show you is flippy pads. So these were just holiday flippy pads that I got from my dad. And they came because he donates money to charities, things that are, to him, great causes. And so they give you little thank you things. And so these would have been pads that might have said the name of the charity underneath, or might have had, actually, I want to tell you that this one was the bottom. This one, I think, had his name. And so I just tore the pages back and cut, made a pad out of it. So they've been stapled together. There's multiple pages in here. And then I just put a piece of holiday ribbon here. I turned this one upside down because now it looks like snow is falling. And I just glued on a pretty kind of snowflakey type trim. And so these will get tucked into this journal somewhere along the way. When I am done with this journal, it will still have a lot of empty pages. It's not going to be jam-packed full. It has a few things in it now, and you can see that if I don't compress it, that the open edge of the book is approximately the same size as the spine. So as this has more and more things added, it's going to widen up, but it's not going to be like huge. There's room for you to make that happen. And if you are the type of person who makes your own books, does your own junk journaling, and this series will hopefully just give you some ideas that you don't already have, or it'll remind you of ideas that you do have, but they slip to the back of our mind. And so this kind of thing might be something that you really just want to follow along with. I am not going to do everything in this book on camera. I will work on it in between. But if I have something kind of fun or an idea that I think, oh yeah, I forgot about that, I may just share it with you. And if you're making your own books, or you're buying a book and you don't like something, you want a lot in it, but you don't want a super wide look, then look for or make a book that doesn't have as many pages in it so that you have more room for this to kind of open out without getting out of hand. On the other hand, you can easily take and tie a ribbon around to kind of help lightly compress. You don't want to do deep compression on this, but you don't want to crush things, I guess. So there's a thought if you don't like that really big look. So I am going to let you go now. Thank you for coming and watching this. Part 2 is going to be up as well. So as you are going through this series, I will be adding them in. This is the mid of September of 2024. And I have craft shows coming up. They start in October and go into November and December. So I need to get some of my Christmas things going now. I'm also working on a fall book. So, you know, and then just some basic books that aren't junk journals. That's what I started in, was hardbound, fabric covered books. So I've got a bunch of those to make. And so things will be popping up, and I hope you come back to check them out. Please, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button if you've liked this. Subscribe, hit the bell for all notices if you want to get a notification for everything coming up. There's a couple of other options. So yeah, do that. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I will get you answered back. I really enjoy getting comments, and when I get constructive criticism, I can tell you I really, really appreciate it. So please feel free for constructive criticism. I truly, any comment is appreciated as long as it's not an ugly comment. But a well-worded constructive criticism will go so far, and I would truly appreciate anything you have to say as long as it's kind. Okay, thank you very much for stopping by, watching this to the end. I hope you come back for more content. Have fun in your crafting.